Hi, my name is Richard Harvey and I'm part of the development team here at Squirrel365, and in this video we're going to be looking at what's new in version 1.14. A large part of the development for 1.14 has gone into the performance enhancements, which we'll look at in a minute, but there have been a number of updates and improvements to existing components and functionality, which we'll have a look at that first. So first up is the ability to create and add scroll bars on containers. It's a quite highly requested feature from our customer base. So if I have a look at Squirrel here with scroll bars on containers, you can see I've got Squirrel project, and in my container here I've got a number of images. So previously you'd have to have done some logic and done pagination backwards and forwards to go through the different images, but what I can do now on my container, I've got an option here called Enable Scroll Bar, which looks at the contents of the container, and if the contents is bigger than the view window, it will give you that scroll bar. It also does horizontal scroll bars as well if you want to reduce the size. For example, you can see the horizontal scroll bars there as well. If I now go into debug, you can see I've got the scroll bar, and it behaves as you would expect a normal scroll bar would do on a container. But as I said, this is quite a requested feature, and that's been implemented now in 1.14. Next on our list is conditional logic for dynamic visibility. So this is a feature, an enhancement for just the conditional logic for dynamic visibility. Previously, if you wanted to make something visible or hidden, you can only make it when one cell equals another cell or one value equals another value. We've now enhanced that ability to do a lot more conditional functionality on that. In 1.14, we're rolling it out for dynamic visibility, but in future releases of Squirrel, we'll also be rolling out the same capability to other conditional logic, things like disable a field when, for example. So let's have a look at that in action. So in my conditional logic, I've got my Squirrel project here, simple image component, and what I've done is I want to hide this. Previously it would hide when this value equals that value, but now we've got this button here. We can click on it and we can say, well, when C2 equals 25, doesn't equal 25, less than or equals, greater than or equals, or when C2 is empty, or when C2 is not empty. So in my example here, I've got when C2 is greater than 25, and I've got a slider controlled here bound to C2. So if I have a look here and look at C2, that value there, C2 there, 11. If I go into debug, 11 is less than 25, so my image is hidden. If I scroll faster, higher, you can see it now comes in, and that conditional logic. So as I said, we're rolling out this conditional capability to dynamic visibility for all components in 1.14, and then we'll roll it out for more conditional logic and other property panels in future releases as well. And also jumping ahead a couple, but also you can see here, we've also reintroduced the tooltips on sliders, whereas in 1.13 that tooltip was gone, and that's now been brought back in 1.14. So next is an enhancement request we've had from a couple of customers, is the ability to update how images are displayed within the Squirrel project. So if I load up my demo here, we've now got the ability to change how images fit within the within their component. So if I go to debug, and I'll show it an example, it working, and then we'll come out and look at all the different properties. So I've got the original image here, we've got contain. So contains where the image keeps its aspect ratio but is resized to fit within the components. That's similar to what the original one does. Fill is the image is resized to fit within the component, and if necessary, the component or the image is stretched or squished to make it fit. And then finally is cover. So cover keeps the image aspect ratio, but it fills the container. So the difference between contain and cover we'll have a look in a minute. If I go to design here and have a look at cover. Oh, no, wrong. Let's look at contain first. So contain, you can see here the actual component is bigger. In the original image, if I look at the original image here, we've got maintain aspect ratio. If I make, as I grow this bigger, the image grows to fit within. Whereas with contain, it grows to fit height or width, but it does leave spacing around the outside. If I change this to fill, it stretches it. If I go to cover, we've got this one here where it stretches it to fill but maintains the aspect ratio, but we can also change the position. So at the moment it's positioned at top center. If I move it out now down to bottom center, and I got my squirrel in view as well. So these capabilities, the contain, fill, cover, and the image fit positions, those are the new capabilities introduced in 1.14. So next on there is the tooltips. So as we showed in the previous example, tooltips are now back on sliders. So moving on to what the bulk of the work for 1.14 has been focused on, and that is in performance improvements. There's two key areas where you can notice the improvements on performance. There'll be more details in the release notes, but the first is on opening a file. If you've got a Squirrel project file that's got lots of components in it, I'll show you an example with a project file with about 1,000 components in it, and it's a really good example. We didn't build it to demo this, it was a project that we had for a piece of work that we were doing anyway. But it really is a good demonstration that explains the improvements in performance that we've got. So I've got a side-by-side video of it in action. So on the left-hand side here is 1.14. So this is the new Squirrel coming out this week. On the right-hand side is 1.13. So this is what is currently live. And so all I've done is I've paused the video where I've gone File, Open Recent, and I've selected the application. You can see here in a minute how many components there are. Left-hand side 1.14, right-hand side 1.13. So if I now play the video, 1.14's already opened it. 1.13 still thinking about it, so I'll speed the video up, so it's now 3 times the speed. And then it's finally finished. And if we actually look at the timings for the two, 1.14 took 3 seconds to open, 1.13 took 40 seconds to open. And you can see at the top, I don't know if you can see in the video, but there's 986 components, as well as 5 connections and 12 functions. So it's quite a big, chunky project. But this is a really good example where the performance changes that we've done have made a significant difference. From 40 seconds to open to 3 seconds is a substantial change. But that's not all we focused on with performance. We've also looked at the runtime performance. The runtime is when you go into preview, and also when you launch the application either from the cloud or when you locally export, the time it takes from when you launch the website for when the user then gets the visibility of your Squirrel projects. That's the bit that we've been focusing on as well. So again, let's go back to my side-by-side. Got my same project in place. Left-hand side is 1.14, right-hand side is 1.13. Now if I play the video now, this is me going into preview to see how long it takes to get to the point where the application is usable. Left-hand side, done. Right-hand side is still thinking about it. Again, we'll speed it up. Still going, and now it's finished. And again, looking at the timings, 3 seconds in 1.14 versus 30 seconds in 1.13. So quite a substantial and large improvement in performance. Well, that's it from me for what's new in 1.14 in Squirrel. Full information will be available on the release notes on the website. And if you've got any questions or would like any more information, please feel free to reach out on the community website. Thank you.